Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to discuss Block 2 Managerial Processes I of MMP C001 for MBA course of IGNOU. This block focuses on three very important managerial functions: planning, decision making, and controlling. These are not just theoretical ideas, they represent the core activities that managers perform in real organizational settings. By the end of this session, you should clearly understand how these processes work individually and how they are interconnected in practice. In this block, we will cover three main units. First is the planning process, which forms the foundation of all managerial activities. Second is decision making, where managers choose among alternatives. Third is controlling, which ensures that everything is proceeding according to plan. Along the way, we will also touch upon previous year questions, which are extremely useful from an examination perspective. So keep them in mind as we go through the concepts. Let us begin with planning. Planning is often referred to as the primary and most fundamental function of management because it precedes all other activities. According to Coons and O'Donnell, planning is deciding in advance what to do, when to do, how to do, and who will do it. This definition highlights the forward looking nature of planning. Planning is future oriented because it deals with what lies ahead rather than the present. It is goal directed since every plan aims to achieve specific objectives. It is pervasive, meaning it occurs at all levels of management: top, middle, and lower. It is continuous, as plans are regularly reviewed and revised. It is flexible because it must adapt to changing circumstances. And it is intellectual in nature because it requires analysis, creativity, and sound judgment. Planning is important because it provides direction, reduces uncertainty and risk, facilitates better decision making, establishes standards for control, promotes innovation, ensures optimal use of resources, and helps in coordinating activities across the organization. Now, let us look at the different types of plans. Plans can be classified in several ways. Based on hierarchy, we have strategic plans made by top management that provide long term direction, tactical plans made by middle management that focus on departmental goals, and operational plans made by lower management that deal with day to day activities. Based on time horizon, plans can be long term, medium term, or short term. Based on use, there are single use plans such as budgets and projects, and standing plans such as policies, procedures, and rules that are used repeatedly. Based on scope, we have corporate plans for the entire organization, functional plans for specific departments, and project plans for particular initiatives. An important concept here is management by objectives, or MBO, introduced by Peter Drucker, which emphasizes joint goal setting and performance evaluation. Planning also follows a systematic process. It begins with setting clear and measurable objectives. Then managers develop premises or assumptions about future environment. Next, they identify various alternative courses of action and evaluate each alternative in terms of costs, benefits, and risks. After evaluation, the best alternative is selected. This is followed by the formulation of sub-plans for different departments, and finally, the plan is implemented and monitored. In the context of MBO, managers and employees jointly set goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. There is active participation, periodic review of progress, and performance appraisal based on agreed objectives. However, MBO can be time consuming and may not work effectively in rapidly changing environments. Now, from an examination perspective, you must focus on the definition, characteristics, and types of planning. Always present your answers in a structured manner with proper headings and include examples wherever possible to make your answers more effective. Now, let us move on to decision making, which is often described as the essence of management. Decision making involves selecting the best course of action from among available alternatives. According to Stoner, it is the process of identifying and choosing a solution to a specific problem. There are two main types of decisions. Programmed decisions are routine, repetitive, and structured, and they are usually made at lower levels of management with minimal risk. On the other hand, Non-program decisions are novel, complex, and unstructured, requiring judgment and are typically made at higher levels of management. For example, reordering inventory is a program decision, whereas entering a new international market is a non-program decision. The decision-making process follows a logical sequence. It starts with identifying and defining the problem clearly. This is followed by analyzing the problem to understand its causes. Then managers develop possible alternatives and evaluate each one based on criteria such as cost, feasibility, risk, and impact. After evaluation, the best alternative is selected and implemented. Finally, the outcomes are monitored and feedback is used for future decisions. This makes decision making a continuous and dynamic process. Decisions can be made individually or in groups. Individual decision making is faster and has clear accountability, but it may suffer from limited perspectives. Group decision making, on the other hand, generally results in better quality decisions due to diverse viewpoints and higher acceptance among members, although it can be slower and may face issues like groupthink. Various techniques can be used to improve decision making, such as brainstorming, the Delphi method, the nominal group technique, decision trees, and cost benefit analysis. For examinations, you should be able to explain the types of decisions, describe the decision making process in detail, and compare individual and group decision making. Using tables and structured formats can significantly improve your answers. Now, let us discuss controlling, which is the final managerial function. Controlling ensures that actual performance aligns with planned performance. It involves measuring performance, comparing it with standards, and taking corrective action if necessary. According to Coombs, controlling is the process of ensuring that organizational activities are carried out according to plan. Controlling is pervasive across all levels, continuous in nature, forward looking in its approach, action oriented as it focuses on corrective measures, and dynamic as it adapts to changes. It is important because it helps detect deviations early, ensures efficient use of resources, facilitates coordination, provides a basis for future planning, and promotes accountability within the organization. The control process consists of five key steps. First, performance standards are established based on organizational goals. Second, actual performance is measured using appropriate methods. Third, performance is compared with the standards to identify deviations. Fourth, the causes of deviations are analyzed to understand the root problem. Finally, corrective action is taken to address the issue. It is important to remember that controlling is not about punishment, but about improving performance and achieving organizational objectives. Control can be classified in different ways. Based on timing, we have feed forward control, which is preventive and occurs before the activity, concurrent control, which takes place during the activity, and feedback control, which occurs after the activity is completed. A good control system should be relevant to the activity, timely in providing information, flexible to adapt to changes, simple and easy to understand, and economical in terms of cost. From an examination point of view, you must clearly understand the control process, types of control, and the essentials of a good control system, including practical examples, will make your answers more effective. An important concept to understand is the integration of planning, decision making, and controlling. These are not isolated functions, rather, they form a continuous cycle. Planning sets the goals and standards, decision making selects the best course of action to achieve those goals, and controlling measures actual performance against the planned standards. The feedback from controlling is then used to improve future planning and decision making. This creates a continuous loop known as the management cycle. For exam preparation, always begin your answers with a clear definition. Use headings, numbering, and diagrams to organize your content. Tables are especially useful for comparisons. Quoting well-known scholars such as Kuhn, Stoner, and Drucker can add value to your answers. Providing real-world examples will make your answers more convincing. Also, ensure that you conclude your answers properly with a brief summary. To conclude, We have covered the three essential managerial processes: planning, decision making, and controlling. These functions are fundamental to effective management and are closely interconnected. A strong understanding of these concepts will not only help you in your examinations, but also provide a solid foundation for your future managerial roles. Thank you, and all the best for your exams.